Receipts, you'll wait till the 1st of April?
Well, for some of them,
Okay.
yeah, some of them later.
Which ones would you start first?
Oh,
I think we need to start this first.
Oh.
okay.
Sorry to interrupt. Welcome everyone to the Rotary Club of St. Albert morning Zoom meeting number 1497 on March 5th, 2021. I'm your host, President Mark Dixon, and I recognize executive members present, board members present, fellow Rotarians, and guests. Please rise for the singing of O Canada. Well, thank you for that. And Elliot, I'm very impressed. I didn't realize that you folks sing the same version of O Canada that we do.
Yeah, we just have a little bit of more blue on our flag.
Very nice. Our land acknowledgement, we respectfully acknowledge that we are on Treaty 6 territory, traditional lands of First Nations and Métis peoples. As treaty people, Indigenous and non-Indigenous, we share the responsibility for stewardship of this beautiful land. Our inspirational moments. Myron, if you would please.
All right. Thanks, President Mark. Good morning, fellow Rotarians. I've kind of just take a few minutes of your time. I wrote this out just to get through it a little quicker and effectively. I'm inspired with our Rotary Club as to how we've navigated over the past year through the challenges of the pandemic. The club board leadership, led by Mark Dixon as our president and last treasurer, Emery secretary, Craig, incoming president and past president, and the rest of the board. We've continued to offer weekly club meetings virtually through Zoom platform to stay safe and connected with fellow members during this period. I just want to summarize some of the club projects and how we've adjusted as necessary. Club services, the virtual Christmas party and the beer tasting, I thought they were very effective. So thanks to Matt. Community services, tree planting, St. Albert Food Bank, Salvation Army kettles, Teacher of the Month, we continued with those. International projects, youth programs, we chartered the new Rotaract Club. Club membership, we're still welcoming new members during this time. Ways and means, the virtual club 30th anniversary last year went over well. We did the 50-50 draw. We have a planned Rib Fest and virtual wine auction on March 12th coming up. And also we're continuing with the music festival once again. In summary, I'm honored to be a member of the St. Albert Rotary Club, thankful that the club is helping out all of us get through this COVID together, and looking forward to being able to meet all of you again face-to-face at weekly club meetings, events, and projects. That's a wrap. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Myron. Nicely said. Very much appreciated. So we definitely have a few guests with us this evening.
Morning.
Feels
You're right, it's still dark out.
So I'm going to start with Chad, who has joined us. Chad saw our posts on LinkedIn and reached out, and he's joins us this morning. So Chad, welcome.
Thank you.
He's also a friend
Did
of
you just
Craig's.
want me to do a 30-second intro?
Yeah, please.
So I'm originally from the East Coast, a coal mining town in Cape Breton. I spent 27 plus years in the military, and my family and I have decided to settle in St. Albert. So now that I'm retired, I would get involved.
Excellent. Thank you for reaching out.
That's nice.
Daryl, you have a guest?
I do. Brian Fisher is with us again, president of KDM Management, and well along on the membership application process. Well, Brian may not be a guest much longer. So welcome, Brian.
Very nice.
Mark, I have a guest.
Yes.
It's Jackie here. I'd like to welcome Councillor Ken Mackay, who is joining us today to support his mayor in her talk with us today. So maybe he'll come along and be a more permanent fixture one day.
Mark, make sure you have control over his mic because you need to mute him constantly.
This is true. I wasn't going to go there yet, but
apparently all politicians need to be muted.
speak for yourself.
No problem. He's flagged.
Can I defend myself, Mark?
No.
No, don't make me mute you.
No, I would never mute you. I just wonder if the mayor is going to speak about a muted full moment.
Oh. And I see we have Cheryl Dumont with us this morning. Welcome, Cheryl.
Oh, good morning. I was with you last week too. Very interested in the Teacher of the Month, of course. And I don't know, I'm just a very interested citizen and I'm considering membership. So I thought I would join you for a few weeks and see if 7:15 was too early for me or not. 2 weeks in a row, not bad. We'll see how it goes.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us. And of course, Natalia is with us this morning.
President Mark.
Yes.
I'd like to introduce my right arm, Lynn Charwa.
Lynn, always a pleasure, Lynn. Thank you for joining us.
Mark, I'd like to acknowledge that Victoria Grab is joining us again from Edmonton West Rotary Club.
Excellent. Welcome, Victoria.
Thank you. I came to
And we
hear
have
the
some
mayor.
deputies from BC here too.
So you want to
I have my wife to introduce. My wife, Andrea. Wave.
Andrea's arm.
So you know what time it is. Please join me in the welcome song.
Welcome to Rotary, glad you are here. Come shake our hands and share a friendly cheer. Whether from near or whether from far, we're glad you're here. We hope that you will like a little song because we're proud of St. Albert and you'll agree. Our club enjoys some great camaraderie, so we do what we can to help with the needs of our community. We're our friends at Rotary. With our friends at Rotary.
Lovely. So without further ado, as they say, Daria, would you do the honors of the introduction, please?
Yes, thank you, Mark. Well, Cathy said she doesn't need introduction, but because she's with us this morning as the mayor of St. Albert, I thought it's appropriate to have at least a little bit of intro. So I got her official bio, and I will just hit on some key highlights. So as the first female mayor in 20 years, and only the second in the history of St. Albert, Cathy represents the values of our modern community. She is proof that St. Albert has grown beyond the debate of women in politics and is ready to tackle some big opportunities and challenges that St. Albert is facing. So Mayor Heron understands the value of leading by example. She serves as a vice president, cities under 500,000 at the Alberta Urban Municipalities Association, director of Alberta Recycling Management Association, 4 years as a director of the Alberta Capital Region Wastewater Commission, Capital Region Growth Plan Task Force, and many more. The result is extensive and diverse relationships throughout the region with elected civil and business stakeholders that she can rely upon to help her further her goal of a strong and more respected St. Albert. So personal life, we all know that she has 3 kids that she spends a lot of time with. So Will, Heather, and Holly. And she values Sunday dinners and hopes to instill that with her children as they move on and have their own families. So she's raised in St. Albert, graduate of Paul Kane High School, but she would not tell us what year she graduated. She believes that it takes a village to raise a child, and she strongly believes St. Albert offers the best values she wants in her own children. So it is her goal as a mayor of St. Albert to contribute to a community where her children will choose to raise their children. The strong values of community and diverse respect that drew her parents to raise her here remain the values she hopes St. Albert will continue to instill in future generations. So I had the opportunity as a city employee to work with a couple of councils, but it's this one that's my favorite. And I think it has a lot to do with Cathy's leadership. So I asked Cathy to come and she can't give me a raise. So I'm not saying this for the raise, but I asked Cathy to come and present to us this morning. So Cathy, over to you.
Thank you, Daria. John's going to run the slides for me, so I'll get him to load them. Tell me when you can see them. Daria probably saw this picture of Wes and I. We were celebrating just October of 10 years on council. So we were sitting in my office having some apple juice. And so she asked me to speak, which was a great experience, Daria. I need to thank you because it forced me to go back through some of my pictures over the last 10 years. So my entire presentation is just a bunch of random pictures, but I try to group them into my top 10 memories. And I started off this presentation thinking about projects that I was going to talk about and things were impactful. So the first one that came to my mind was my work in solid waste. I'll tell you right now, there was probably only 2 projects, so then I group a bunch of things together later because there was an enormous amount of material that I had to go through. But I think Ken could probably agree that the solid waste file has been huge in the city of St. Albert. I've got pictures of myself here at a MRF Center, which stands for Materials Recycling Facility. The top picture is a group of us going to see Calgary's Compost Center. There's actually a picture of Ken there. We did an audit one day. We walked around a couple streets in St. Albert going through their garbage and just seeing what people were throwing away. But it is an important file in St. Albert. We have been quite proud of the fact that we lead in diversion away from landfills. We might be on par with Strathcona, but we try to be ahead of them. This year's obviously been very different, but generally we're at about 65% diversion away from landfill. And it's an important piece of what we do in St. Albert. Before I was elected, we didn't even have, we brought the blue bags in 2008. That was before me. But then when I was elected in the first term, we introduced the bins. So we weren't doing any kind of organics collection. And we were also, I think, I'm not going to ask Ken to unmute and verify this because he's actually carrying the file on my behalf now, but I think we're one of the few that actually offer different ranges of garbage. So we have the small bin, the medium bin, and the large bin to try to encourage people to throw less in the brown bins. You get a nice reward for having a small bin. This term, we've talked a lot about waste to energy, and we're still working on that. And of course, something that you might not be aware of that I've been leading this year is something called extended producer responsibility. We're the only province in all of Canada that does not have EPR. BC, and I'm sure Ellie and Clinda could attest to this, have the best EPR program in all in Canada. What an EPR program means is that they're producers of waste, the Procter & Gamble's, the Costco's of the world, they pay for the end of life of a product. So I'm hoping, it probably won't be before the end of this year, but I'm hoping by early next year, Alberta will have an EPR program and I can actually take a line item off your utility bill, and that would be for your blue bag. You wouldn't have to pay for that anymore. All right, let me go to the next slide if I can. We're really having technical issues today.
It's all good.
Seriously. There we go. How'd you do that?
You click on the screen and then you hit.
Okay. As I get, my next slide is smart cities, which cracks me up because I can't use a PowerPoint. But another file that was huge for me before I was mayor was the smart cities file. It became a bit of a brand for St. Albert. You'll see a couple, well, you see Michael in there. In 2017, I got a phone call from the federal government asking me to come and speak about the future of smart cities and how the federal government could support municipalities. So in the background is a committee room. I was invited to the Standing Committee on Infrastructure to push a program. And actually the Smart City Challenge was born out of that. The fellow in the bottom two pictures is named Travis Peter. Daria knows him really well. He was my administrative lead on this file and good friend too. So that was something that we haven't done a lot of work this term on, but it is an important file. So now I'm going to go kind of broader. Regional collaboration has been huge my entire career. And I honestly believe St. Albert doesn't, we're not an island unto ourselves. We really live and breathe with this region and within the province too. So a couple of pictures here. The picture of me by myself on the mic was me chair of the Alberta Urban Municipalities Association conference. So that is our provincial association for advocacy for all urban cities. Ken and I are holding some signs there just talking about what we need. We need revenue, we need policing. These are all the issues that we focus on. So I've been serving on that board for almost 6 years now. A couple years as vice president. It's probably been the best experience of my entire life. The bottom picture, I think lots of you will recognize Mayor Lana Nachu from the county. That was a regional French Grey Brawl we went to. And so we socialized a lot. That's the Mayor of Spruce Grove and the Mayor of Edmonton as well. And then the big group of us at the bottom is the mid-sized mayors. So there's 22 cities that are over 15,000, and we get together a couple times a year and we talk about the issues that are very, very much related to cities our side. It's sometimes, as a vice president AUMA, I sometimes find it hard to relate to a summer village or a town. And it's hard to relate to Calgary and Edmonton as well, because their issues are similar, but at a bigger scale and a lot more social issues in the bigger cities. So us mid-size, we get together about twice a year. We're actually, during COVID, we've been together once a month. And then I had to jump to a huge moment in my career on council was, of course, running for mayor. Anita was, I Googled it, she became mayor in 1989. So it was 28 years that we had a break between female mayors. And as much as I don't like to push the women in politics agenda, I always like to push the best person for the job agenda. It was pretty exciting. This was a moment for me that I'll cherish forever. The top picture is me and my 3 kids celebrating on the night of the election. But then I also had to include what's made this time as mayor so special is the people I got elected with. This is the best council I've ever worked with. And Daria mentioned that in the introductions. And I've had some great councils. My first council made some great friends. Wes was there, Roger Lemieux. Really sad when we lost Len Bracco. And then my second term, I got to serve with Tim Osborne and Gilles Prefontaine. They were fantastic. But this term has been above and beyond. And I'll talk a bit about Jackie a little bit later. I didn't know Ken was going to be here, so I didn't prepare a lot about Ken. But you can't do this job without a good team beside you. And we have worked very well together this year. And I just threw this picture in. It's kind of hard to see, but this is the chain of office. And the day after the election, when I walked in to the 3rd floor in City Hall, and I was all excited, they had this waiting for me for the next day. It's my name on the chain of office. And that was a moment that I still get a little choked up about. It's that's the front with all the emblems, and the back has every mayor of St. Albert's name on it. And so to know that my name will be on the back of that chain of office alongside Anita is really special, because there's been some fabulous people that have served our community in the past. Huge moment for this council and for myself was the twinning of Ray Gibbon Drive. it had been an issue for a decade almost. And when we ran our campaign for mayor in 17, I didn't think we would ever get Ray Gibbon Drive twinned. The province wasn't interested in paying for it. It was, in the $50 million range. And within 1 year, with negotiations with the province, we were able to come up with a cost-sharing agreement to get this job done. And I attribute that a lot to Kevin Scoble, our city manager. He is very, he comes up with unique ways to fund things. And it was that unique methodology that got this funded. But I also attribute it to collaboration with myself. I'm not a person that walks into the provincial offices banging my fists and screaming. I walk in there trying to understand all sides of the table. Sorry. John just made a noise. And so this was huge. And you can tell by, we had all of council at the announcement cheering. And then I think the end result has been fabulous. Not only did we win Ray Gibbon, we developed that active transportation style of road. So there's trails that meander alongside it for bikes and pedestrians. And in the end, I think that was the most compliments we got, was how beautiful it is. Another huge thing, I feel, probably not the biggest thing we've done, but I wanted to separate it out, was our work with Pride. In the second term on council, we painted some sidewalks. God knows why. Council had nothing to do with it. And it turned into a controversy like I've never seen. And it wasn't even that much money. It was just it was a lightning rod controversy. So when we talked about doing a rainbow crosswalk that term, we couldn't. It was more painted sidewalks. And Tim Osborne tried. He actually made the motion that we do the Pride flag every year. So that we did. And then when I was first elected, I put a question on my Facebook page about the crosswalk. It generated, do you remember?
No.
Like in the tens of thousands of responses. It was a poll that was shared across the region and the province and Canada. And overwhelmingly people wanted this kind of a tribute to the LGBTQ community. And in the end, it was the simplest thing we ever did. I just said, I walked into Kevin's office and said, we need a rainbow crosswalk. We have a staff member in the city, Dean Schick. He, on his own time, got a crew, bought paint, shut the road off, and we had the kids paint the crosswalk. It was a fabulous day. And again, another one that I hold as a tear-jerking moment. And then I also just threw this one in as well. Again, there's almost my whole council there, raising the Pride flag. It's important to us. But the other thing that we did is we were one of the first in Canada, for sure, if not, or in Alberta, if not all of Canada, to actually pass a bylaw to ban conversion therapy. Natalie Jolie put that motion forward. Really not part of our strategic plan and on our radar, but it was a significant moment, and I have been greeted by the LGBT community nonstop since that moment, saying thank you for letting us know that we matter in your community. So it's been nice. And actually last week I conducted a webinar on helping other cities get to that state. It's sad that in 2019, 2020, this is still an issue, even the recognition of Pride, but it's getting less and less so. Another thing that, again, not huge, but significant is conciliation ordinance. So we did, and we're the first council that has both the Métis and the Treaty 6 flag flying in our council chambers. Embarked on what we call Pehonin. It's our speaking of the bottom, I think everybody knows well, if you live in St. Albert, that's our healing garden, which was actually built last term. It was, again, a little bit controversial, but it's a beautiful spot along the river to stop and sit. And then here's a couple more. There's the Treaty 6 flag up. And that was powwow out at Poundmaker that we went to. I'm pretty sure Ray Watkins took that picture because he is one fabulous photographer. Number 8 was I just called significant development and so I look back. Second term, we approved the Amacon buildings in Grandin Mall. They will be towers in St. Albert someday. I don't know if the market's there today, but that was a significant decision by that council. It's going to be very big for downtown redevelopment. over the last 10 years, I think we've been working on the Lakeview Business District. We designated those lands in my first term. And actually it's funny because Ken council meeting in my term, we've done 4 new schools. There's Joe Demko at opening his, but we've done in and that 4 schools does not include all the modernizations that we've done over the last years. This term, we have also done an annexation. The last annexation in St. Albert was in 2007. If we had not completed this, I think we might have had less than 10 years worth of land to grow. With this annexation, which the public hearing I just found out is in April, and the MGB board could probably approve it this summer. But with that new annexation, this new lands up in the Northwest, we will have lands for 40 plus years, depending on how fast we grow. This term we've also done, I should not have put MDP in there because nobody knows what that means. It's a municipal development plan. It's our highest order of planning in the city, and it's called Flourish. That's why I have the picture there. This is again a significant change. Our old one was outdated. It planned in an old style. This one is more policy driven and will allow us to grow in a much more progressive way. Kingswood Park, I don't have a picture of it, but there's a big farmer's field in Kingswood that for 10 years I've been trying to get the developer to turn over to the city, and he refused. This term we succeeded. We got fed up, and generally with Ray Watkins' help, we pushed and pushed. We were going to annex it from him, and not annex, what's the right word? Expropriate, like he would know. In the end, he came to the table, and so finally the Kingswood residents will have a park. And it's sad to think there's nothing in Kingswood right now. There's a tiny tot lot in the older section, but most of the kids that live in that area are crossing over Poirier and going into Pineview. And then the other big piece of land and planning we've done, again, this term has been to find a piece of land to build another rec center. I'm not saying the rec center is going to be built in anytime soon, but honestly, with the speed that we've been changing things this term, I think we probably will be successful in getting it done in the next 5 years. But in the Northwest, west of Ray Gibbon, just off of Villeneuve Road, we're going to have some land set aside for aquatic center, ice rinks, hopefully a bike skills park, off-leash dog park, just all the recreational needs that we have in the city. And there's multitudes. I didn't want to, but I sort of felt I had to put in a slide about COVID. It's because it's really dominated this last year and a bit of our term. Actually, on March 15th, we've got our poet laureate coming to council with a poem to celebrate, to signify a 1-year anniversary of St. Albert. The role this last couple months has really been about just trying to communicate to the public. So the top picture, which is horrible of me, I did a lot of videos at the beginning. We did the T8N together mantra so people could kind of rally behind it. I've been posting the numbers on my Facebook page. The face coverings bylaw was really hard for this council. We didn't want to do it, but we felt to keep the city safe, we had to do it. In the end, almost every other city followed suit, and now it's a provincial law. I wish the province had just stepped up and done it in the first place, because the piecemeal approaches wasn't working. But I would say that was a difficult decision. I'm sure Jackie and Ken would agree, and it's too bad we're forced to do it. I wish this virus would just go away. Before I get to number 10, as I was going through pictures, I found some significant sad moments in my 10 years on council. The bottom left is the tragic accident of Thomas Wedman, Thomas. And the interesting part about that is it has a Rotary connection. That it was a Friday morning, and we were all at the golf course. And the speaker that morning was a program that our club used to run about bringing in children's book authors, and then they would go to children's schools and read their books. And so I was driving our writer, author in residence up to the school, and this is the scene that we arrived on. So it was a horrible day. Nolan was the mayor. He ran from City Hall up to the school. And I think pretty much Dean Schick, who's in charge of our transportation department, sat at his desk and cried. It was sad. The bottom flowers is when Darian Marr got hit by the van, and he was a good friend of me personally, because his sister played soccer with Holly. And then, of course, I think everyone will understand that our CMP was when Constable Wynne died in our city. An amazing time for our city. I should have probably put a different picture on. I should have put the picture of our Rotary Club lining the streets of the processional with our Canadian flags. I think all of us who were in Rotary at that time remember that, and it was beautiful. And then, of course, the last one is the Humboldt crash. And that was shortly into my term as mayor, and having to deal with the heartache of a community is not something a mayor wants to do. So those are it's not always happy and gleeful being a mayor and on council. There's some moments that you really have to connect with your community and give them that hug that they need. But now I'm a little tearful. So the last thing I wrote was just Rotary and Council, because as I was going through the pictures, it was shocking how many times I came across pictures of Rotary. So there's a bunch of Michael. Michael and I have worked a lot together. He's very supportive and gets me into committee meetings with the federal government and meets with me regularly. We also have Jen McCurdy in there. She was giving both Michael and I a tour of the market this summer because it goes on. And so I just had to talk about the fact that we all have jobs and we all go to school and you get what you need to do to hold and keep your job. For me to have my job, I need so much support. And so this Rotary Club continues to step up when I'm running. So I wanted to signify that. This has got nothing to do with an election, but this was the Philanthropist of the Year award to Robert Gallant. It was my first opportunity to hand off an award, and how privileged that was that it was Robert that got the award. I've worked closely with Jen. I had to single her out a bit because the Chamber of Commerce and the city have really worked on their relationship in the last 3 years, maybe more. And, you know, working with her was always super fun. This is us going to see Michelle Obama. The city plants trees every year, and I was going through my pictures and I found this one of Dawn and Lynn planting trees. This was not a Rotary tree planting. This was a city tree planting, but, you know, Rotary shows up when they're called. I had to show Dooley because he was my date. And that's a picture of his 3 kids. I think they know because they'll get treats. And I had to also pull out Doug. He campaigns. I appreciate what he's done for me. So Doug, that's just a tribute to you. And then finally, Jackie. I mean, how great is it to be actually elected and work with one of my fellow Rotarians? There's a picture of her that I took off a big screen at an AUMA convention. She was speaking to a resolution. I can't remember which one because she actually leads the charge in a lot of these. It might have been, I can't remember, Jackie, sorry. There's a picture of us in Halifax, and down below is a picture of Jackie and another friend of ours, Brian Botterill from Strathcona. So serving with a Rotarian it's been a different experience for me, and it's been a pleasant one. And I can't tell you how proud you all should be of Jackie as well. She works ridiculously hard, and she chairs multiple committees, and she never says no to a single thing. I'm supposed to do a International Women's Day event on this Sunday, and Jackie sent me a message. She goes, "Can I come?" And I'm like, "Of course." So you all should be very proud of Jackie and the work she does. I didn't know Ken was going to be on the call, so I didn't prepare a slide to say great things about Ken. But I can tell you that Ken has been a bit of a mentor to me. He was the chair of a committee I served on before I was on council, the Community Service Advisory Board, and encouraged a young and shy to take on a leadership role with you too. There's things I didn't mention because I did not have time. The chickens, small thing, but I became the chicken lady in the last term. Super proud of the electric buses. St. Albert was the first city in all of Canada to have electric buses in our fleet. The Regional Transit Commission, which we just approved in January, I don't think anyone realizes what a game changer that's going to be for this region, and it's huge. And then the Jerome McGinley Arena renaming was something I felt was significant this term. This list could have gone on and on. I didn't actually include Ray Watkins and his swearing on camera during this COVID experience. Again, a memory I'll never forget. And these are just a few pictures of us having fun. The top picture is me eating the hot pass. Oh God, did I feel horrible after the end of that. Me doing Run Wild. That's my council playing pickleball against Spruce Grove. And that's me speaking to a grade 6 class. These are just the fun side of being on council. That it's an amazing experience. So just for a conclusion, because I want to leave time for questions. So in 2010, I've said this before, I made 2 very big decisions. One was to join Rotary. My first meeting was fall of 2009, and I was inducted in February of 10. It was actually a city staffer that brought me to Rotary. It was Warren Dosco. But that was the first big decision I made in 2010. And the second one was to run for council. So here we are 10 years later, still involved with both. I always quite often say that the council role is temporary and I won't be elected forever, but I will be a Rotarian forever. So thank you for giving me this opportunity, and I would love to take some questions.
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead. I'm trying to unshare now. He's doing it. Sorry, go ahead. Who is it?
It's David.
Hi, David.
He being John is onto it. Well, firstly, just a comment. I'm glad you installed that photo of us together and not the one in red deer, all dressed up.
Oh yeah, that was another.
That could have got a few of us into trouble. My questions, I've got a couple of questions. The first one is a buzzword we often hear in most communities around smart cities is circular economies. Do you think St. Albert will ever get to the day where we could actually call ourselves a circular economy? And in particular, of course, I'm not just talking about telecommunications, I'm talking about water and wastewater.
Yeah.
In a typical year, the city of St. Albert spends $8 million a year on wastewater.
And about the circular economy, absolutely. I think St. Albert could be a leader in that. I sit on one of the other boards that I've been fortunate enough to sit on is Alberta Recycling Management Authority, which deals with all used tires, used paint, used oil, and electronics. And the conversations we're having on that side, because we're so tight with the provincial government, is how can we lead EPR and how can we take some of the work they're doing around hydrogen in the circular economy is going to be led by that group, I'm hoping. And if I stay on AUMA, that's another avenue. But the city itself, with Kevin Scoble at the helm, is already looking at what to do with the biosolids out of sanitary. So yeah, there's some advantages and opportunities there because we are wasting good sources of energy on its as we flush the toilet. You know that. Yeah. Anyone else? Oh, I needed to mention Lynn. I forgot to mention Lynn. Lynn has, Andre doesn't help at all with my campaigns, but Lynn does. I'm teasing you. I'm actually wearing a blazer that Lynn picked out for me. Lynn has been at my side for all of the elections as well too, and she has helped me plan parties, given me advice, picked out my wardrobe. She's been fantastic. So thank you, Lynn. Any more questions?
Cathy, I have a question. It's Jennifer. Over the last 10 years, we've seen the use of social media just explode. And you see, how do you deal and how would you advise other people who are looking at council, running for council, but they're concerned because of the hate people out there and the creepers and it never shuts off. How do you handle it and what advice do you give to other people for that?
I can answer that for you.
It's a good question, Jen, and I think I do an okay job of it, but I wouldn't say a perfect job. It definitely gets me down, especially during a campaign. I think I've just adopted this 2010 or 80-20 rule. That's what I'm thinking of. That there is, for every negative comment, there is probably 5 or 6 out there that are positive. They just don't take the time to post them. And I honestly think social media is a huge tool and an advantage to being on council, especially with the Gazette going down to once a week. It's unfortunate, but there's no way to get messages out other than social media in those between paper times. And so I'm using it a ton, as much as I can. And, you know, I try to address things on other chat pages and stuff. Sometimes I ignore it, but I think the biggest thing, if I was giving advice, is you have to use it, and don't allow it to pull you down into that horrible place, because there are so many people out there that do support what we're doing, that just don't take the time. And so when I do get a positive, and the funny thing is I get positives all the time, but they're never public. People will send me a private message, say, we've never met, I think you're doing a great job, you don't let that negativity get you down, can't wait to shake your hand one day. I get a lot of those. I showed them all to John, and I think it's amazing. So I take that and I multiply it by 10.
Just always remember it's 50-50. 50 don't, 50 do.
Anita, it's a different world now than when you were.
I don't think so. It's just a different place. Anyway, yeah.
I'm glad you're here today, Anita.
Thanks.
Any more
Yeah, I
questions?
have a question for you.
Yeah.
So what do you see as the biggest challenge for the city of St. Albert going forward? And conversely, what do you see as the biggest opportunity?
By the way, Craig did door knock with me, but he just stood on the sidewalks and he was my bodyguard for most of the time. It was good. Let me start with the biggest challenge. I think it's actually nothing to do with the work that we do, because I think we're doing good work. It's the perception of what we're doing. And I'm finding, especially in the last few months, the division in our community and in our world, honestly. Yeah. And the attitude towards politicians is hard to overcome. And especially when you have examples of politicians like Donald Trump. Anyway, because the majority of politicians that I meet are amazing people doing good work for the good of their communities, especially at the local level. And so that's, to me, is one of the biggest challenges, is the perception of what we're doing versus the reality of what we're doing. And the opportunities, there's a lot of opportunities coming forward for St. Albert. I think because of COVID, we've done a good job of identifying what makes St. Albert attractive for not just residences, but for retail and commercial and industrial. So we have a magnificent walking trails and a beautiful river in St. Albert. And because of COVID, people want to be outside. So I think we need to take advantage of that immediately and work on that. I think there's the fact that we have, and through the work of Smart Cities, we attracted talents to our community, and now we have fiber to every door in the community. It's easy to work from home in St. Albert. So if the future is a hybrid model of working in an office versus working at home, St. Albert is completely well positioned to allow for that. So why would you not want to live in St. Albert if you can work from home and enjoy a beautiful outdoor space? So those are the opportunities I think we have in front of us. We have a bunch of new land in the north that we can develop into probably industrial type uses that will help with our taxes. So there's a bright future, I think, from St. Albert.
Cathy, first of all, I just want to commend you in council. As past chamber chair, I got to visually and verbally see every council abused every week at council, and I don't think people realize how much abuse you guys take on a daily basis. So congrats for you guys for taking it on the sleeve and tolerating what comes your way. And you know what, businesses in St. Albert and outside of St. Albert don't realize we have an amazing tax benefit for businesses here in St. Albert. And you guys really need to be promoting that out there. My colleagues in Edmonton are suffering way more than I am paying taxes on property. So use it.
You know, I think one of our biggest problems, Charlie, is we're too humble. And you're right. I was with Minister Nally and some other MLAs, and I mentioned that we attracted Orion Plastics into St. Albert because our mill rate is low. And everybody assumes St. Albert's got the highest taxes, but no, we're lower. And we do need to market that a bit better. And actually, I think we need to work as a region a bit to kind of harmonize that and attract we don't need to be fighting over Ryan Plastics, who's going to end up somewhere in the region. We need to be fighting over that foreign direct investment into our region and then sharing in the wealth of that. That's kind of the next step.
Thank you very much for your presentation this morning, Cathy.
You're welcome.
I'd like to say on behalf of the club, we are very proud of you as mayor. We are very proud of what you and council have achieved, and we are proud of you as a fellow Rotarian. So thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you, Mark. And I need to say, I do love the fact that I come to this club every Friday, whether it's in person or on Zoom, and the roles are they're kept very separate. So Rotary is a very safe space for me to find friendship and not think, are they being my friend because I'm the mayor or not? Like, it's completely separate, and that is so meaningful for me. Thanks.
Thank you for that. So a few reports and announcements. I think we covered this, but Laura, I don't know if you have anything else that you want to add for World Rotaract Week?
Nothing that I want to add, just encourage that you attend. I know it's an event by Rotaractors and the target audience is Rotaractors, but the speakers that we're having are amazing, and they're on topics that are universal to all of Rotary. They're not just Rotaract specific. So if you have the capacity to definitely come out and support.
Well, and we are very proud of you as being a speaker at World Rotaract Week. So congratulations on that. Wine tasting, Kim.
Hey everybody, good morning. So COVID is a weird time. So I just wanted to remind everybody that it's really weird and really hard to throw a gala event in this environment, but we're doing our very best. And I want to remind everybody, this is our big fundraiser for the year. So I'm pleased to say we've sold well over half of our tickets. We've raised over $25,000 already.
27. 27.
And we our auction opened on Monday. The bids are starting. People are starting to get interested. We've got interest in other clubs and in the community. We've got over 60 items to bid on. So please go to the auction and take a look at the amazing things we have there. There's some great stuff on the page. And also there's a donate area and a fund a project area where you can just make a donation. I've heard from a lot of people that this is very different than the gala. I don't drink wine. I'm, at home on my own. That's okay. There's lots of different ways to support your Rotary Club. You can donate on to the specific project part. You can just make a straight donation. If you don't have people to invite that like to drink wine, they can still attend the auction. I'd really, 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 really love to still sell out those tickets. So we have 44 tickets left, I believe. And so Laszlo will correct me here in a second. And so I'd love to sell those out. That would be amazing. So this is our last week to push. The last day for ordering will be on Monday because we have to get the orders to the caterer. You can still get a package after it closes, but it will not include the catering. So please give generously to the auction. Please tell your friends. This is that last minute push and we're last minute Rotary. So get out there and support your club, support Craig's year. And make this a good fundraiser, the best that we can in this COVID environment until we can be together again.
Kim,
I also wanted to say, oh, sorry, I just wanted to say one more thing. Kalinda and Elliot are here today. Thank you for coming. They are going to be our amazing hosts of the event. So if you don't want to drink wine, buy some wine and just like attend their presentation anyways, because they're awesome and we miss them. And it's great to have them helping out our club with this. Sorry, Jerry, you had a question?
Yeah, just I'm wondering, because this was supposed to be a kind of a private one, friends and whatnot. Considering the tickets left to sell, are we going to be opening that up to the public? by social media?
We're not opening it up to the public, but we are opening the auction up to the public, to which people can find the tickets that way. And if they choose to buy them, that's okay. Also, we've sent it out to multiple clubs. We've sent it out to multiple community groups. And everybody on your gala committee has been aggressively sending it out to all of our friends and anyone who will listen. So my last minute pitch would be if everybody could bring one more person, that would be amazing. I think as Laszlo said, about 30 people out of our Rotary Club, which I believe is just under half, have bought tickets, and about 30 have donated to the auction. If everybody could just, take this last week to step up. I know, again, like I said, we're last minute Rotary. That would be so amazing. And we know everyone's situation's different, but see if there's something that you can do for Rotary. That would be amazing. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, Kim.
Also, can we get people that haven't donated to the silent auction, please donate some items. We can sure use those to raise more money.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jerry, thanks for that. That's Myron. We are accepting auction items. We would like them as soon as possible so we can load them and people can start bidding. We will take those next week as well. So if you got anything, please let myself know or Laz, and we'll get those items loaded. Thanks.
Thanks, Myron.
Thank you to everyone for your support of this. Thank you to Kim for leading this and the work of the committee. As everyone said, this is our major fundraiser for the year, and this is raising funds for the causes that we support next year. So the more money we raise here, the more good we can do next year. So thank you for anything you can do. Charter Night is on March 18th, and Matt will have more details coming out on that. Community Service Committee, Doug has talked about that. Are there any other announcements?
Yes, President Mark, it's Mark here with the Music Festival.
Hi, Mark.
I would love to just inform everybody here at the club that the registrations closed on Sunday, and we had 313 registrants for the festival. So normally we have 500, but we have 313, and we don't have choir, which is a big one, and we don't have band. So that is a really big effort and a great thing for the festival in this time. And I think we'll be the biggest festival in the province this year. So way to go, everyone. And thank you for your support there. Also, we now figure out how many people there are. We're going to need volunteers. So we're going to need about 20 to 25 volunteers for that week. So I'll start sending out an announcements and places to sign up. So thanks everyone for your support on this.
Thank you for that, Mark. Any other announcements? Hearing none, our next morning meeting is on the 12th, and fellow Rotarian Stacy will be speaking about women in leadership, shaping the future workplace and the world. Birthdays and anniversaries. Natalia, if you would, please.
Okay, so we have Amy Pickering on March the 8th, and we also have Peter Lund, so Peter and Soder Gallant on March the 9th. And we also have Sandra Fenton joined the Rotary for 7 years. And Williams John as well, 12 years. Congratulations.
Thank you, Natalia. Congratulations to everyone. Sergeants at Arms, if you would, please.
Thank you very much, Mark. How are you doing this morning?
Is that to me, Mark, or Dixon, Mark?
Well, both of you, but I was talking to you, but.
Oh, I'm doing fine, thank you.
Good. You got a game ready?
You're looking good this morning.
Thanks. Yeah, I have to work. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I can't wear my PJs.
There you go.
Yeah. So you're all welcome. Yeah. Why don't you start with your game?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Scavenger Hunt 50-50. So we have 11 people up for grabs for this week here. Actually, yeah, 11 people. So Natalia, can you pick two numbers between 1 and 11?
9.
9. Perfect. Then Jerry, you're one of the participants. Okay, another number there.
11.
11. Perfect. Kim, no, I'm just joking. You've been there too many times. 11, that is Jackie. All right, now Jerry and Jackie here. You have to find Rotary swag. First person to come back with some sort of Rotary swag. Oh, look at that.
Earrings.
Earrings there. Like, Jackie, you had like no chance. All right, that's awesome, Jerry. You are the big winner of, where's my math here? The pot was $65, so you get $32.50. Yay!
Gary.
Jazz hands.
Exactly. Thanks for participating. If you want to participate, that's how easy it is. Send me money. We'll get you signed up, and you can participate.
I need a heads up, Mark.
You got
Sorry,
a heads up. You
that's
had
the whole
to-
point. It's just random.
Yeah.
I mean, who knew you needed a grapefruit knife, right?
There's no, I can't compete with that.
Tell you what, I'll transition us into some fining here, Jackie, by giving you a heads up that you should always be wearing some Rotary swag. You should always have your pin on. And starting with Jackie and everybody else in the club that doesn't have a Rotary pin on right now, or earrings or cufflinks or some sort of Rotary swag, that'll be $2. Please e-transfer it to john@niceagents.ca.
It doesn't go with your pajamas, John.
You should be wearing Rotary pajamas, Anita. You
I
should
know.
have Rotary PJs.
But I wanted to Sandra, ask I Mark need a that question. stuff that you're making. Mark, do I still have chances on the draw? Is
You
my money
are,
still?
You are still there, my girl.
Okay, thanks. I just didn't remember how many times I had.
It's all
you
good.
know, okay.
So Laura asked a good question in the chat.
Thanks.
What if I don't have a Rotary pin yet? You
fine,
should have
Emery.
gotten one when you joined Rotary. So I don't think Emery's on the call this morning, but we're going to hit him for $5 and a pin on that one. Because
I'll get you a pin, Laura.
Oh no, it's right. It's Mark or Craig that's responsible for that, aren't you?
Yeah.
Whose fault is it? Who am I finding?
Andre, he's got extras.
No, that's me. That's me.
All right, Craig, $5 from you, man. All right,
Don't find my dad. He's paid enough for my time.
How rude.
I'm going to try my screen share here again. We'll see how this works. Can you guys see this?
Nope.
Son of a bitch.
No.
Black.
That computer you got from Staples.
Must be. All
Operator.
right, so I'm just going to run through a few quick finds here, starting with the people that are putting up pictures of themselves rather than live videos. So Ian Soder, Mike Keating, David Dooley, I would like finds from all three of you, please. And Dan Holman, even though you took a screenshot of yourself this morning and put that up instead, you're not blinking. We know it's not you, so that's going to be a fine for you as well, my friend.
John, I'm not sure that you want this mug today, so here it is in all my glory. You're welcome.
I don't want it. Let me just jump through a few of these. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna have to postpone most of these here because they're all visual. So let's jump to finds from the floor after I give myself a double fine because I can't seem to figure this damn thing out and get my screen sharing to work. So I'm taking that away from all of you to fine me for it, but I will pay a $10 fine on that one because that was a good one.
Now I'm not no fines then.
Yeah,
It's gonna
so,
fine you.
Yeah. Do we have any other fines from the floor?
How about Happy Bucks?
Happy Bucks as well.
All right. I just like to make a comment. I've had a chance to speak to about 5 Rotary clubs in the past 3 weeks regarding inclusive hiring And I just wanted to kind of echo the comments from Myron and Doc Murdoch in the paper this week about our club. Our club is in a really good place. I've sat on a few of these Rotary clubs, from the programming that we have, how Mark has basically set up the content, to the fact that we actually have so many young people engaged in our club in comparison to other clubs. Our task in the next little while, through leadership and every member, is to make sure that we keep on moving on this momentum, because if I put us up against other Rotary clubs, I think you guys would see that we're far and ahead and advanced in comparison to others. And I just getting a chance to see other Rotary clubs in action. It's not a contest necessarily, but I'm really appreciative of what the club, where it's at and where it's going. Thank you.
That's fantastic.
I have happy bucks.
Okay.
I retired on started my new job on Monday. And so I'm working part-time, 20 hours a week as the coordinator. It's their first time they've actually hired a person. So it's a brand new job for the St. Albert Sturgeon Hospice Association. So I'm thrilled to be there. And I have a little office in the food bank. So I'm getting to know lots of people and I'm excited. So yay.
Wonderful. They're lucky to have you.
Hey, Don, I've got some happy bucks for Ken Clark. We in that cold snap a while back, our fan in one of our furnaces decided it was tired and wanted to give up, and I got a hold of Ken in the morning. Actually, it was on the day of Rotary, and he was over by the end of the day and had us all fixed up and running again. So $5 to say thanks to Ken.
Fantastic.
Perfect.
Yeah. Anyone else? Happy bucks, funds from the floor.
I got some happy bucks. I'm going to throw $10 in to Mark Emery Mendana getting a full-time job at Zen GM Marketing as account coordinator. Huge company, amazing opportunity, well-deserved. So excited for him. It's unfortunate he's not here, but send him a note, send him a Slack.
Fantastic. Yeah, he's pretty stoked. Anyone else?
Yes, I have $5. My dog didn't add to the floor covering yesterday.
Well, that's yeah. We'll take that one too. That's good.
Perfect.
What about you, Charlie? Did you add to the floor covering?
Well, I'm okay for yesterday at least.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else?
I do. My first one.
Hey, Crystal.
Hey.
We bought a full electric car.
What?
Wow. Yeah.
Shocking.
It's a Ford Mach-E, so it's a Mustang, but it doesn't look like a Mustang.
Okay.
So you'll see it's kind of like electric blue, and I think we're the only one in St. Albert. So if you see us, wave.
Congratulations.
Don't touch the car.
That's a pretty hot car.
Yeah.
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 John, I have $20 of happy bucks.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're really happy.
Yeah, I think I am. March the 8th, I believe, is International Women's Day, coming up and through next week. And although I didn't get inspiration, I just wanted to say how proud I am of the women of our Rotary Club. The women of our Rotary Club are business women and entrepreneurs owning their own businesses. There are governmental and community leaders, and they're community leaders in the rights where they work in the not-for-profit sector. They work on boards, and they just make where we live a much better place. And so for me, the $20 is acknowledging all the women within our Rotary Club that contribute to the life of our community. And it actually, and with that, of course, goes the women in my life. But with all that, it makes me extremely proud of our Rotary Club. And I'm going to single out one. I don't really want to do this, but I have to single out one, only because I'm old. I want to single out Anita Rodzinski. And the reason I want to single out Anita is that Anita was really in her heyday as mayor, a forerunner and opening doors, along with some other Rotarians in our club, Grace Laurendale, who was a bank manager in that. And so I just wanted to say $20 to all the women in the club for their contribution to making St. Albert the city that we are. So thank you.
Well said, Doug. Well said. And I'm just going to clarify, it's $20 to all the women, not each of the women.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, just that distinction, because I wouldn't want to, yeah. Anyone else?
Awesome.
I have happy bucks. I don't know how I can follow that. I wish that I had got in before that. That would have been a great closer, so I apologize. But yesterday, I attended the district's land acknowledgement webinar, and I learned so much. There was an Indigenous elder, and another Indigenous woman, and then members of the committee that were there. They are making it a goal to be inclusive. Their committee is 50-50 Rotarian and then Indigenous members of the community. There also just happen to be 50% male and 50% female, not on trying to get to that goal. It just happened. So it's such a beautiful thing that happened naturally. And I learned so much. So I'm really excited to bring this to the board at our next meeting and see how we can apply this. But it was just a really great webinar, and I encourage everyone to look into stuff that they're doing, because they're going to be putting on more. So attend those.
Fantastic. Thank you, Laura. So I think we're pretty much out of time. So do we have one last? Anyone? Going once? Unmute yourself. Going twice. Okay, I have one last one that I will put forward in addition to my fine, and that's that Johnson & Johnson vaccine was approved this morning. It's official. It's in Canada. So nice. Another big step forward to fighting this vaccine and getting all of us in person so that I can fine you in person. So
yes,
yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah, me neither. So thank you, everyone. President Mark.
We're going for herd immunity.
That's what I heard. Thanks. Thanks, John.
I have one more fine I'd like to throw out.
Yeah. Did you want to speak to this one, John? Slack?
Yeah, sure, I can do that. So the Slack account is up and running now. Several of us have been in it, beta testing it, demoing it, and trying it out, and it's really been a wonderful way for us to start communication. So we'd like to invite everybody in the club now to come and jump on board, try it out. Some online conversation. It's a wonderful way. I will send out a link to everybody in the club via email. Please watch for that here this morning. It's very, very, very easy to use. If you can text message, you can use Slack. There's an app you can download, or you can access it off of a web browser, whatever you want. You just log in, create a username and password. It'll send you a confirmation email to make sure that it's you. So I don't get to log in on Anita's behalf. She's actually going to do it herself. So, you know, you log in, you jump in there, you join whatever conversations you want. If you want to create a new conversation, go right ahead. If you have questions or trouble using it, there is a thread in there that you can just throw questions in, and another Rotarian involved in the discussion will help you out and make sure you can do what you need to do. But it's a great way for us to engage with each other, chat and communicate, and share information and just come together as a club in this virtual world.
Thank you very much, John.
I can share it with you, but I can't. So.
So social media, we are there. Meetings are on YouTube. Thank you again to Cathy for her presentation this morning, to Myron for his inspirational moment, to all of you for being inspiring. And remember, if you need support, please don't hesitate to reach out to Lynn or fellow club members, or look for resources online. And please, if you wouldn't mind joining me in the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Will it be
It'll
fun?
be
fun.
Thank you, everyone. Have an amazing day. Have a great weekend. Stay being awesome. Thank you.